Black Yo BT. On my grill and the sauce with the record force. Ain't one choice, the golden voice taking no. Man, this is pretty cool. This is a little bit different from what we've done, but you know, trying to introduce a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, just again, us on the internet. So this is another component of us. Feel it. So.
Yeah, and so this episode is some personal fitness, you know, and that goes into eating, exercise, just staying fit, healthy, happy, you know, maybe not
active.
Yeah, active. Yeah. And not it doesn't have to be any certain level of fitness, you know. It could be that extreme athlete level, or it could just be the dad like us, you know, like
exactly
a dad at home that's got a job and got kids and got all these things they got to do, and maybe doesn't have time to go to the gym, you know. So we're by no way personal trainers or experts, but we have spent some time like teaching ourselves kind of what works for us.
Yeah, and we do a multitude of things, man. You know, I mean, we like to do a multitude of different things, like physical activity wise. You know, like we've done a little bit of boulder and rock climbing together.
Yeah.
And of course we skateboard. You know,
been skateboarding forever.
Everybody knows that. So
yeah.
But then we run a little bit of weights, you know, all that stuff. We just try to factor a little bit of all that into the, you know, the mix, you know what I'm saying, in regards to how we do things, and try to kind of stay somewhat active and fit as we age or as time passes, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely at this age, it gets easier to gain the weight than to keep it off, because you got more responsibilities, and you know, some people's metabolism starts slowing down.
And then time, though, bro.
Yeah, you don't have time to.
You know, and here's the thing I notice a lot of times is we carry a lot of our habits, eating especially, from when we were kids, you know, in our younger years into our years when we might not quite be as active as we were before. Like I remember like skateboarding, bro. Remember we were younger, right?
You could eat anything you wanted.
Dude, but you skateboard like 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, right?
Oh yeah, I'd be skating like 6 days a week probably on average when I was young.
Yeah, but then you get older and you got bills, you got kids, and you just don't have time to skate like we used to. But you know, you want to eat like you used to when you skated 5 to 7 days a week, and it doesn't quite work out that way.
Yeah, bro, and that happened to me, man.
Yeah,
that happened to me, bro. Like in high school, I was skating all the time, and then I kept eating the same way after high school, and I was working even more full time, you know, and just kind of into the grind. And dude, it definitely, you got to make some adjustments, you know, according to your activity level. Because a lot of times, man, you're doing a lot of stuff too that you're just not super hyped on, you know, be eating just to make yourself happy at the moment, you know.
Man, facts.
It's all different things. So,
dude, it's so true. It's like, you know, as I was saying, we don't necessarily have time to be as active, but we always got time to eat. So, just trying to find a balance in between, you know, that aspect of things and, you know, what we do now, I guess. So, we're just going to introduce what's intuitive and what we know to be true and what's worked for us. So. Yeah.
And so we're going to kind of go through like what we've done, and we're going to kind of do that for this whole month. And then we're going to segue that in, because, you know, this is going to be a bit, you know, we can't call it strictly bro science, because I mean, the sources we've learned from, you know, were definitely valid, but we are then communicating what we've learned to you. So we're not trying to be personal trainers or experts in here. We're just showing you what works for us. And
that's the bro part.
Yeah, that's the bro part. And, you know, is some things you might be able to go ahead and start using. And then, or maybe, you know, you want to go talk to a personal trainer, see what level
Most
where you're
definitely.
at, especially if you haven't been active at all, bro. You don't want to.
Exactly. You don't want to get hurt, and you want to definitely assess what your health is before you start anything, man. You know, because it's crazy how a lot of this stuff will creep up. Like my father, man, he found out just on a whim that he was diabetic.
Dang.
So, I mean, and I know that from a pathology standpoint, we all have things we deal with in our family. So it's good to try and get an idea, especially, again, as time passes and the numbers rack up in our age. You know, you want to try and get an idea of where you are so you can have a good starting point. And not to mention, if you do that, you end up, you know, spending more time being productive and wasting less time.
Yeah, because you don't want to get hurt, man, because I think I've definitely been there. I mean, dude, I've probably gotten like 3 or 4 gym memberships where I'm all gung-ho. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that. And, you know, maybe you hit it hard for like 3-6 months, or, you know, or it starts to dwindle down. So, I mean, I've definitely been there several times. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
But, so yeah, I mean, we're going to go into like what we do. And then after this month, we're going to be working with like a pretty well-known personal trainer, and we're going to be going into we're going to do the Whole30.
Oh yeah.
For the whole month of April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do the Whole30. Me and T both going to do the Whole30 for the month of April. And we're going to be working with like a real personal trainer. So we think it would be kind of funny because we're going to kind of put together what we're doing currently. And then we're not only we're going to talk about that with the personal trainer. So he can be like, oh, okay. And, you know, so we can get some finer tuned adjustments on what we're doing.
A lot of what we're doing. If something that's kind of like off kilter is like, nah, man, don't do that. I'm like, oh, okay, I've been doing this for years, but you come to find out it could be working against you. I wanted to throw something out real quick. I think one of the most important things for anyone to consider doing stuff like this is it's one thing to be active, but no matter what you do, try to keep it fun. It makes it a whole lot easier. That, you know, it's not an obligation. It's something that's fun. That's how I've always stayed active. I like to play. Yeah. So skateboarding is that for me. Yeah. You know,
walking, dude. You like walking? I mean,
exactly. Go see the sights. Go walk around the neighborhood. Hike. Whatever you do, just get out there. It's really just movement, not any particular movement. You just have to be engaged in movement so that your body and everything else doesn't atrophy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the treadmill. It doesn't have to be the elliptical. It doesn't have to be this. You know, I mean, you moving. You know, we're going to get into like calorie ratio, macronutrients and stuff, because that was the game changer for me.
For anybody, man. And like we were saying before, you know what I'm saying? It's like you aren't counting your calories, but, you know, and you're just kind of, but next thing you know, you keep packing that weight on, right? Yeah. But if you're being cognizant of the amount of calories you're burning and you're counting them on days when you may not be so active, then you can always pare it back if you're trying to maintain a certain, you know, level as far as your fitness and, you know, your composition, I guess, for lack of a better way to phrase it. So,
yeah. Because I think I've definitely, because growing up, like I was never exactly where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't super stoked to go to the beach and take my shirt off. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yeah, you know, like, and like, you know, I remember being a kid and I'd work out, go to the gym and stuff. But I just didn't understand, like, not that I was eating horribly, but I was just eating a certain calorie ratio and not enough activity, or I was just eating too many calories and probably not the right ones, you know, at the time. So we're going to go into that because, I mean, it's been my whole life, you know. It's not it wasn't until I was 37 where I got in the best shape I've ever been in my life. Besides skateboarding when I was 16, and I was just burnt just from skating all the time. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, that's a whole nother level, man. Like I was saying earlier. Yeah. What is it? Explosive strength, endurance, you know, flexibility. Yeah. It's just so many things that go into that. But yeah, we don't have time to do that all the time. And when you don't ride for a while, you definitely realize just how good a shape you were in when you were skating on a regular basis. Yeah. But nonetheless, whatever you do, you know, just trying to integrate being a regular everyday person, you know, on a degree of better eating, in activity. Yeah. But again, staying within the realms of just keeping it fun and not like, you know, you know, make it fun. Yeah. You know?
And don't be comparing too much to other people, what other people are looking like, because man, everybody's fitness and health and like feeling good is a little different. And man, you're going to sometimes shoot yourself in the foot if you're looking at what everybody else is doing. You really just need to get the right process and then trust the process and stick with it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too, bro. You know, you're just developing tools to employ, you know, along this journey, I guess, of fitness in this case. Yeah. So, I mean, that's important. But yeah, it's just like you said, when you compare yourself to others too, you're adding a level of anxiety. It's unnecessary anxiety, you know? Yeah. So.
No doubt. You've probably always kind of been the same build though, right? I think I'm the one that's fluctuating maybe.
You know, man, I mean, for me, ever since I was a kid, I've liked to play. So, yeah. I mean, activity was just something that kind of was born out of that. I wasn't always this athlete. I mean, I ran a lot as a kid. You know, I was a sprinter as a kid, and then as I got older, I taught myself to distance run. But I always liked to do things that were just active. I liked to ride my bike, you know, and then I got into skateboarding when I was about 14, you know, 13, 14, and that was pretty much, it just blew the top off of everything. But I've always liked I I've always been like a can-do type of person.
Yeah.
You know?
And real quick, man, just how you be saying about you got to make it fun, right? The exercise fun. Bro, and that's the thing with like skateboarding. Maybe, it's not going to be skateboarding for you. It'd be whatever.
If you don't want to skate, don't start.
Yeah. But man, if you love skating, a lot of times you do it forever. Like you just keep going. Like you either got to get called in when you're a kid. Like you got to come in, you got to stop skating. It's dinner time. Or you're like, man, I got to go. It's midnight. We've been skating these lights forever.
Dude,
and
that is one of the most beautiful
hours.
things about it. But it's like that with anything that someone does. You when you have fun, it's the same. I mean, of course, skateboarding is the best reference because it's what we both do. We've been doing it so long. But it's the same.
It's a core workout,
bro. You get to the point where you get so determined and you're like, man, I got to get this trick. But you are basically panting for breath and you're pushing. It's kind of like a burnout workout. When but in skateboarding you're like, okay, I'm spent, but you're like, nah, I gotta bust this before I stop for the day. Or you're having so much fun and you're laughing, but you're trying to get your breath. But you go, oh my God, did you see that? You're having fun. But you don't think to quit. You just think, okay, I can dig a little bit deeper. But you don't realize that you're pushing yourself so far. Cardio wise, endurance wise, strength wise. But the whole time, the overarching theme is just this is so much fun. So it just keeps pushing you, and you don't realize, that's the thing that's pushing you further than any amount of, shaming or someone hitting you with a bamboo rod or whatever. You're just fun. You're laughing, and you're just like, man, I'm gonna keep skating. But when you have something that does that, fitness and being in better condition and things of that sort, it's just a natural byproduct of that.
Yeah, and it just builds on top of it, right? The more you do something, the more it is to build on that and continue it. And so it's just really that activity level, because when you're young, you're playing all the time. You just want to go out and play with your friends. You're running around. You don't have these adult responsibilities.
No, you don't.
And even without that, most of us had PE or gym, and we had to be physically active for 5 days a week for at least half an hour or something, where you're running lines or,
Exactly.
and if you played sports, if you played basketball or football, you're doing all kinds of activities. So this is stuff you do as a kid, and you have someone there, and you have the time to do it. So, but as you get into adult and you have family, you have work, you have just stress in general, and it's easy for that fitness to get put on the back burner.
Dude, it takes a back seat.
But bro, you get to a certain point where you just feel so much like you're tired all the time, because it's not only that you're not fit or healthy or look the way you want, but you just don't have the energy level. So it's not just about looking a certain way or someone like that. It's about having more energy, try different things in your life. It's like the fitness thing, man, for me is just like so key, because it's the mind-body connection, right? You feel good. It's like your energy levels, you're getting that endorphin release,
and that's a big part right there. Is the endorphin. That's for me what drives me. Because even when I skated, when we rock climb, bouldering, however you do it, but nonetheless, when I'm doing those two things, or even riding my bike, I'm just out there laughing, and I'm, you're exerting yourself, even to the point where, again, you just feel fatigued, but you're like, you put fatigue to the side because you're like, I'm just too busy out here having fun.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's so key what you said, like make it fun. And, you might not even know exactly what to do for fun, but like, man, walking, dude, I've watched a few bodybuilders routines, and literally their cardio is walking.
Yeah.
They go for long walks. They'll get their headphones on, they'll have their water bottles, and they just go for these epic walks. And that's something I really love to do. Like walking for me generally tends to be better unless I'm running like on, I'm not much of a runner at all, but I will.
I am actually.
You're a runner, yeah. I'll go through little bits where I run, but man, it kind of kills my lower back. Like,
but most people, most people aren't runners.
Yeah.
So I don't expect anybody to be like, let me pick up running. It's just what I do. Like, but I was gonna say with the walking component, I'll say, okay, running is something that's therapeutic for me, but so is walking. Like walking, it alleviates and relieves so much stress and anxiety. I remember when I had got out of running a number of years back, when I was, I've been working in tech for a long time, but like I would get so stressed out some weeks, and I noticed the weeks when I would just get super stressed, I'd be like, you know what, I'm going for a walk. And I would get home and I'd go for a walk, at least a 30-minute walk, come back home, and I'd feel so much better. It's like a 180, like a night and day change, as far as the difference.
Yeah,
So,
man. I think that's important because, man, that's something I used to do when I was young. Like I remember when I first moved to the East Side, I would just go for walks. Like I was working at a place and I got laid off, so I had these checks coming in and I didn't have a job for a while, so I was just going for these epic walks, right?
Nice.
And I just go for these really, really long walks, and I dug it, man. And it's just kind of cool because you can get out there, you get to see things,
Yep.
you know, and not only that, but you're getting fit. And like one thing I can say too is like, you know, a lot of times we could come home, right, and we could be stressed, and you're like, man, I had so much, I'm gonna go for this walk. And dude, like, I don't know, I think just about anybody go for a walk by themselves to kind of clear their head a little bit.
Dude.
And that might be something to try before cracking that beer open, you know what I mean? Because that's something I went to. Like I would come home, especially when I was tattooing. I'd tattoo at the shop till 10 or midnight sometimes. And I'd come home and I'd just drink right away because I was so burnt out from the interaction.
I get it.
Especially being an introvert, having to interact with people on that level, tattooing them.
Yeah.
And and I work 10, 12-hour shifts, you know, at the shop. So, I mean, I come home and drink, and really, you know, that walk and just being in my thoughts for a minute probably would have, and not only then, I would have been getting exercise.
Yeah, no,
and I would have saved myself like 600 calories right before bed.
Yeah, to save some money too.
And save some money. So
it's this win-win, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's another thing. So I got to add this in, and I will stress the heck out of this. I'm 45, and I like to enjoy myself, you know, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money spent. I just like to get out and play and move, you know, just flipping and rolling, whatever, you know, getting on the monkey bars, playing with my daughter, you know. I mean, we get out there and we have fun. And the thing about it is just, it's weird. I mean, again, it's weird. As a kid, we were in so much better physical condition because we played. And who's to say that as an adult we can't play anymore? I can play as much as I want to. No one's gonna be like, you can't play, you're too old. Well, maybe you can't play. I'm gonna go do what I want to do. And having fun and playing is something that I don't ever plan to lose, you know, touch with. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm a grown man and I pay bills and all that, but I like to be able to, you know, stay, you know, connected to that aspect of my childhood.
no doubt, man,
You know?
because I don't even think at this age, like I'm 39, you're 45, you know, I don't even think at this age it's mind over matter, man. It's like your mind can mess up your matter. But I think, like, honestly, man, I can do, you know, for the most part, like, I think as we get older, you know, like we hear these sayings growing up, like, oh, I'm too old for that, or I can't do that anymore. And like, I think sometimes we mean that, but also I think it's just a trained thing we learn.
And
you're like, oh, I'm 40, so I get to be that role now. I get to, you know, I got a reason to just go home and relax because I'm too old for that now. You know what I mean?
It's a social construct, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just like, I mean, back to skateboarding. Bro, I'm 45, and I can still do a lot of things I could do 20 years ago. I got to stretch first, but I can still do them. It's like I meet guys like in their late 20s. Oh, I'm too old to skate. I'm like, bro, I'm almost twice your age.
Yeah.
That's no excuse.
Yeah.
Or even guys in their 30s. Oh, I'm 35 now. I'm like, bro, I got 10 years on you and I still skate. And nothing against anyone. I'm just saying, don't try to convince yourself that you shouldn't be doing something that you enjoy doing. You know, whatever it may be, even if it's just walking. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Riding your bike, whatever you do, even if it's riding your scooter, have some fun. I think that's the thing that we have to allow that back into our lives as adults. We get so inundated with stress and responsibility that we kind of forget about having fun, or we redefine fun. Like you said, you're drinking or whatever you do, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, don't disregard this component as well. You can still have fun without having to spend money or without having to take in extra calories, or, you know, I'm just saying there's other outlets as well, and explore those, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, becoming a full-grown adult doesn't have to be, you know, you're not forever, what is it, restricted to only behaving this way, and it just gets worse as the years pass. That's a bunch of nonsense.
No, it's really on you. You know what I mean?
It is on you.
Yeah, I mean, you could find yourself in a current situation that's built up over time that you're not stoked on.
Indeed, man.
You know what I mean? And that's just something, you know, you either got to, you know, work towards to get out of or whatever. But, you know, you can always make moves from where you're at in a positive direction. I think that's kind of where we're coming from this. It's just supposed to be motivational. It's not supposed to be like,
We're not chastising anybody, man.
No,
We're just,
bro.
all we're trying to do is, again, connect as always and just encourage others.
Yeah.
You know, if something that we have and that we, you know, participate in and that we know from our lives can help somebody else, then that's exactly the point of all this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even like scales, man. I get that people use them, but I don't like scales.
No, I don't really
You know?
either. I was using them. I mean, I'll kind of get to it probably at some
Yeah,
point, but
of
I was
course.
using them there for a minute just when I was really, I mean, I was being super intentional. Like
No, I get it.
I had a goal in mind, and you know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we might be talking about this, like the next month, we're going to
Of
really
course.
get into it. And that's not
Yeah,
for
and-
everybody.
No, and it's cool because this is just us doing this and showing, okay, we're doing this right
Yeah.
now. But then eventually, like for me, I know I'm going to get back to my normal routine. I mean, real quick, Whole30s. I've done 4 already. I've done 4 Whole30s.
I've never done one, so you're going to see me
Huh?
do it for the first
It's
time.
well, it's all good. It's
That'd
one
be
of the
fun.
things, you know. I like Whole30s because for me it's a good reset because I notice myself. I'm like I'm on straight now. Then I start to go, yeah. Then I'm like, oh, me, you know, reel it back in. You know,
Yeah,
so that way I at least stay somewhere near the mean. Right, my normal eating would be the mean, somewhere near the mean. But when I start to realize I'm going really far from the mean, then I do a Whole30 to kind of do like a reset. But there's a multitude of reasons why you can do a Whole30. But we'll talk about all the benefits. But I love them. I'm more of an old school Whole30, and that I'm not really into, like, you know, I guess there's like products and stuff. I don't get into that. I just look at the idea of good food that tastes good, that's better for me, that has less components. You know, so
No doubt. Yeah, so maybe I'll just kind of go and just give a quick story, and I think maybe this might be relatable to some of you out there. So mine was the same thing. Like, whenever I was active as a kid, you know, I was usually pretty healthy, but there was always the less active times, you know what I mean? And when I was less active, I ate more than when I was active. So not only was I getting exercise and eating less, you know what I mean? But I was definitely a bored eater. You know, I would eat more if I wasn't being active.
man, a lot of us are, bro.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. And so definitely, you know, and once I got into adulthood and I had like, you know, I was working full time before I got out of high school, but I was still pretty active because that's all I had to do.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I just
No
had to go to
kids
job
yet.
and then I go skate right away,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, when I was married, I got married, you know, you have a whole different responsibilities. You know, you're kind of expected to come home every day,
Of
you
course.
know? So you go to work, you come home, you do your thing. And I've always admired, like, especially when you see a couple that's stays fit together.
I was
you know
gonna
what I mean?
say, man, any
Dude,
couples out
big
there,
props
man,
to you if you're one of those.
Absolutely, man. That's so dope.
Because, man, that's
So dope.
I think that's so healthy for a relationship in general.
Yeah, man, literal and emotional and physical. It's
Yeah.
just nothing but good comes out of that.
Yeah, it's positive.
So-
You're pushing yourself to be healthy.
And you're pushing each other too. You're
Yeah.
supporting each other. It's just, oh man, that's,
doing something together
cannot
that's
be
positive.
overstated. Of
Yeah.
course. But
So
you're talking
big ups to all the couples out there to stay fit together. You know?
Absolutely.
Just to be active, you know? So for me, it was entering into that and losing my activity level, you know, because what I really liked to do was skateboarding. You know, we definitely, you know, I probably went through, that was the time when I probably went through like 3 or 4 gym memberships when I was married.
I hear
You know
that.
what I mean? And we would go for a while, you know, you got the 24-hour fitness one for a while, went for a while, but then you just get busy. You just find reasons to not go.
It's adulthood for you, man.
It's adulthood, you know, and
Yeah.
I know, I guarantee at least half of you, probably more, have been there with that. So I
All
just,
of us have at some point.
yeah. So I kind of got to a new norm, right? I wasn't in the more athletic build I was in my teenage years when I was skating 6 days a week, you know, for a bit there. But so I got into that level, and then, you know, as I got older, you know, drinking became more and more a part of my life, you know, have some drinks. And then when I started tattooing, that's when I got the most unhealthy. Because I was working in a tattoo shop, and to be honest, it wasn't really a positive environment. I mean, it was fun, bro. I've got some funny stories.
I can imagine.
And some stuff went down there. I was working on 82nd near Foster. So if you're from Portland, you just
what's
know
up
some of
with
the
that.
stuff that goes on 82nd is pretty
Of
wild
course,
sometimes.
yeah.
So it was fun, bro. I mean, I wouldn't change the memories for anything.
Facts.
But I was working like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, worked till 10.
Okay.
But if you had people there that got there at like 9:30 and they wanted tattoos, you weren't closing until you got their tattoos done.
I understand that.
Because man, it could be an extra $200 for you
man.
You know,
Yeah.
so you're
Hey,
like,
that-
I'll stay
that
at work an
the
extra
mighty
2
dollar.
hours.
Yeah, mighty
what I mean?
dollar takes precedence.
Yeah. So, you know, you do that sometimes. And then, so I was working with people that wanted to go out afterwards too. And part of it too, we actually went to a club, and it was actually a strip club. And I wasn't like super into going to it, but that was the promotional night because the owner was like, man, he's like, this is a lot of our clientele.
Yeah.
And it's like free advertisement. You know, it's like in front of everybody. So there for a while, you're going out. And it wasn't always strip clubs. It was like there for a while. We had to go with the shop owner. But then we would just go to a bar and get a
work meeting.
right. I know. I was so funny explaining that to the wife, being like,
Yeah.
"Gotta go," you
Yeah,
know.
you come home, shit you with the bionic elbow. Hi-ya!
Yeah. But then we would just go to like bars too, you know, on other nights and grab some drinks and stuff. So this is pretty much how the day went down. I'd be sitting on my butt all day tattooing, and then we'd order some L&L. I'd order some L&L Hawaiian, and I'd eat like huge rice, macaroni salad, teriyaki chicken, and then I'd get whatever else, like drink a big soda. I'm eating like, and then Wingstop, and then, you know, maybe, you know, and then I go home and then I would drink. So I'm sitting, I'm not being active for long periods of time. I'm eating like food that's really high in calories.
Say hella calories.
Hella
man.
calories, like
Yeah.
really high in calories. And then I'm going home and I'm drinking anywhere from 600 to 800 calories.
Yeah.
And
More
then going
empty
to
calories.
sleep. Empty sugar calories. So it's
And
turning
at night.
And at night, right
Yeah.
before bed.
Yep.
Right before bed. So I did that for like a year. And so I walk around right now at like 175, 180 typically, but I got up to 220. So I was at like 220 there for a while when I was tattooing full time, and I didn't feel good. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm 220. It was like, it was just for my body and the way that I just knew I wasn't healthy. And it was because of the way I was eating and the amount of alcohol that I was drinking at the time. And just honestly, it was like a lot of lack of sleep too.
Oh man,
Because your body's got
definitely
to
do it.
your body's got to, you know, recuperate.
It's a huge one. I
Yeah.
think a lot of man, we could do a show just off that alone.
Yeah.
About, you know, the detriments of neglecting sleep.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, yeah, you know, I mean, I wanted to touch upon this and know when he talks about his marriage, you know, and this is something like for both of us because we're both divorced, but we're not speaking against being married. I mean, you know, it's just we're saying you have to you reallocate a lot of your resources and a lot of your time because your responsibilities are different when you get married, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's really easy, like so many other aspects of adulthood, for the fitness component or for your physical health to be one of those things that kind of gets pushed to the back burner, you know?
Yeah.
And
Thank you
get
for
further
saying
and
that,
fur-
bro. Thank
well,
you for
do,
saying
yeah,
that.
you get further and further away from that. But like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
big up to if you're married, you know, you know, if you're in a long-term relationship, just anything like that. I mean, we're all for that. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I was still married, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. But so I'm just, without going overboard, we're not trying to talk negative about that.
Yeah,
It's just
because I
the
got to
shit
own that too.
happened.
Because like I could have still been disciplined. I could have eaten a certain way, you know. So
Absolutely.
it wasn't like someone was forcing me to eat unhealthy and
Yeah, I
not
was
work
gonna say,
out.
you do own it.
So I did that to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I chose to
You
get
can't
married.
blame your wife.
I chose
Don't
to
blame
eat. I
anybody.
chose to eat Wingstop and L&L Hawaiian every single day, and then go
Yeah.
drink after work. So like I did it to myself, right?
Facts,
you know what I mean?
man. Yeah, but I know what you mean, though, bro.
But I'm glad you said that because you can't. It's not like,
Nah,
oh man, I
we're
got
not
married
doing
and
that. Nah.
everything went downhill. No, it's
a
not
great
that. It's
thing,
not
man.
that.
It's
No.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, marriage is
So-
dope. Like, so all you married people out there, stay married. I hope you're happy. You know.
Yeah, and like we said, you know, make sure that you get even healthier together. So
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, man, I mean,
So that pretty much brings me up to right before I started making changes.
okay.
So like I might have lost like a little bit of weight, but that's pretty much where I was at. I was just like, you know, and I wasn't doing any like diet. Like I don't believe like now at this point,
Bro,
I don't even
I'm right
like the
there with
diet
you.
thing is a scam, bro.
Yeah,
like
we're not
all those
pushing
diets are
that.
scams.
Let
bro,
me say this real quick
in my
before you get
opinion.
into changes. I gotta make this abundantly clear regarding the Whole30 because I had some discussions the last couple months with people about the Whole30. I don't call it a diet in the sense that what I'm trying to do is again realign my eating habits and figure out what I'm doing so I can make better choices and changes so I can be healthier going forward and so I can just, you know, be going about it in a better manner going forward. It's not like, oh, I can't eat that because of my diet, because it's all my choice anyway. But to feel like there's a degree of shame or just negativity with food. I can't, like I say, overstress the fact that needs to go out the window.
That definitely needs to go out the window, because that is
no good.
That is the killer, bro. That's the killer right
man.
there. And I think that's where it really pays off to talk to a nutritionist or a personal trainer, because obviously they're going to tell you like eating sweets and high fat foods are not good for you, right? And you're going to use up a lot more of your calories eating those foods. But I mean, when it comes down to it, man, if you're staying within a calorie ratio, right? They have the 2,000 is it's always on the back of the label, right? The general recommended calorie count, but that's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not. We're all different body types.
Yeah. If I eat 2,000 calories a day and I'm active, I'm going to be like, there might be some days where I almost pass out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not all days. I mean, I've done some days where I've only like 1,700
No, I
calories,
get it.
you know what I mean? So that's what I was saying. And let me just touch on this, because I don't want to, like, if people are on a certain diet, like, it can work. And like, there's two different definitions for the word diet. And I kind of knew this, but I did look it up. And one of it, the way I like to think of diet, is the way that people will habitually eat, like, or that was, I think, kind of the definition. So it's like
cultural almost.
Yeah. So like this, like the diet of Eastern Europe, the diet of the West, like things we traditionally eat.
Any geographic location.
Any geographic location. There you go.
Factors. It factors in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. My bad.
Exactly. And but then it goes into an individual level too. So that's the way I like to think of diet, not like the South Beach diet or this or that. You know what I mean? And I think all of those things can work.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to calorie. Like if you're doing the South Beach and you're still eating too many calories, then it's not going to make a difference that you're on the South Beach diet.
Man, because people, and that's what another thing we don't like about diets. I know for me personally, a lot of times people want to just add water solution, or like, this is the answer. There's no answer. The answer is to make the right decisions, and to that for your body type and for your caloric needs and things of that sort. But it's really about, like people say, lifestyle changes, like getting better decisions, and then just movement. I mean, it's just like, there's no bullseye, like do this one thing and you will. It don't work like that, because there's so many other components that are that are there in the whole fitness, in the realm of fitness and athleticism, and just trying to figure out where you fall along that spectrum. But it's not just any one thing, like take this vitamin. It don't work like that. And the diet is no different. The diet is not gonna be the answer to your prayers. So it's better to focus on what works for you and learn to listen to your body and what makes you feel good. And then, like he said, if you have goals, counting calories, you have to understand it's more of a holistic approach as opposed to just one thing, and a diet is no different. So anyway.
Yeah. And so for me, like when I think it was around 2016, 2017 is when I wanted to kind of make a change, because my energy level was low. I was skating, maybe 2 or 3 nights a week, going out and hitting some like slappy curbs. So I was like moving, but still, I was still like 3 or 4 nights a week. I'd have like 3 hard ciders, you know what I mean? And then I would just be super unmotivated, because it'd take all my energy and zap me. I mean, that's what I wanted it to do at the moment, right? I wanted everything to turn off. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing at the moment. That's where I was at. And then I got sick of being there. Yeah. I think we've all been there, where you've been somewhere for so long and you're just sick of being there. You've been wanting to make the change. And then finally, you've been there so long, that's the catalyst, the jumping off point for you to make that change. And that's what happened to me. So that's when I started getting on YouTube. And I know it sounds silly, because YouTube's been around for a while now, but seriously, man, like there's so much good information on YouTube.
Dude,
so much good information.
You know what got me to the point where I was in my best shape for the last probably 5 years was my man Chris Harrier from ThinX.
Oh, really?
Man, bro, I messing with a lot of stuff on their channel, man. Your boy was just, I was in there. I was on my rings. I was doing a lot of bar work. I was doing weight work, weighted calisthenics work. stretching work, I was just like, man,
That's
this
dope.
is, and I was like, yo, this is working. But again, it's not for everybody, but I know for me that worked. So,
but you can get on there and you can find someone that's probably doing something. They're like, okay, I could do that. That would work for me.
Tons.
And then maybe you're not going to copy that routine, but you can get some ideas, and then you can take that to your personal trainer, and you could be like, hey, I saw this, and this looks like something that I could consistently be excited with and stick with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good to at least go into it with ideas. I've always kind of been at the point where, I've stayed flexible and stuff. So I felt like I could like enter into my, I've made the personal judgment of like, I'm okay doing this movement. I don't feel like I'm going to get hurt. So everybody's got to make their personal judgment. Yeah. But we're putting it out there because we're not personal trainers. No. So we don't want, to encourage anybody to make drastic decisions and get hurt.
Everybody's body's different. I mean, the way I squat might not be the way he squats, and vice versa. My range of mobility for, as far as how far my arm can go back down, my back. Everybody's different. My legs move different. So find out what works for you and then tailor it to that. I was going to say, like with the thing as far as the workout, make it whatever your regimen of eating and being active is, just self-style it. Take what you can from different people and then self-style it. Make it yours, and then again, the fun component as well. Put that all together, and then you kind of have what works for you. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
And I think like one thing, unless you can't walk for some reason, but walking is something that's pretty safe. So that's something you could start doing right away. Mm-hmm. So if you get your calorie count right and you're walking, that's something you can start doing right away, if you're not ready to talk to a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But the reason I really stress the personal trainer is because some of us have certain jobs where we're doing repetitive motions. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a desk job and your arms are constantly like this, you could have like this strain in your shoulders.
Absolutely.
Or anywhere, depending on where you compensate. Mm-hmm. And then when you go in to do your exercise, that area is going to be vulnerable. And the personal trainer, so what I did is I was going to become a personal trainer, and I signed up. Mm-hmm. I started going through the courses. So I learned a little bit, but I don't feel like I can teach anybody it. But what I did is it pretty much taught me. And then I just realized it just wasn't something that I was going to be able to reinvent myself as a personal trainer at this point in my life. I had too many other things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I'm really thankful for that I did that, because just going through all the book and doing the assignments and stuff, it gave me a lot of personal knowledge. And to me, that's like priceless. You know what I mean?
You can't ever, learning something new that's going to be beneficial. I mean, you never lose.
Especially with your health.
Of course, man.
Because that makes it feasible for you to do anything from there on. You have your health. The wealth's not going to do you any good if you don't have the health.
Nah, yeah, I was about to throw that. I was like, I'm not going to do it.
I flipped it up a little bit there.
Yeah, no, I dug it. I peeped that. Nah, man. So yeah, I mean, like we're just bringing y'all, how we're doing it, and then we're gonna show you what we do, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna get some help, from the personal trainer and sports conditioning coach, and then.
Yeah.
You guys can, laugh at us or whatever you want to do, but hopefully you can pull, something beneficial and good from it. So
yeah, I hope that it's a good combination of like entertaining and funny.
It's definitely gonna be entertaining
and motivational. You know what I mean? Like I think it's gonna be all of that, because honestly, right now, like I'm not checking my macronutrients. I haven't been checking my calories. Like I did that for like maybe a year and a half. I used the Under Armour app. What's it called? It's the one that everybody uses.
Fitness Pal?
Fitness Pal, yeah. So I used that, and I really got that figured out and dialed, and that was the game changer. So we'll get into that more. But now I've kind of learned, like from doing that for a year and a half, I got an idea of like how much my calorie ratio is, and I've been able to maintain kind of where I'm at. Like I might not be exactly where I was at, but I know that I'm still in that same space, and that given like a week, I could definitely kind of turn things around even more. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So that's what I think is going to be really cool about this month, is that we're just going to be doing average, like, man, right now I eat a ton of free food from work. So like what I'm eating isn't even like orchestrated that well. It's like I got free eggs and free cheese. Like that's what I'm eating for breakfast.
It's quality stuff, but it's
quality.
Like hella calories.
But it's hella calories. Yeah. But I take that into consideration.
I was going to say, yeah, you have to do is strategize that. So, and that's another thing that people have to understand. A lot of times people think in order to eat healthy, you have to do
that's the hack.
Yeah, it's like, no, you have to. It's all about how much you eat, when you eat it, and what you eat. But a lot of it is just how you basically, you know, fit it into what your regimen may be, or what your routine or your way of being and doing it may be. So
yeah, because for each person, depending on your body weight, your height, and your activity level, there's going to be in for where you want to be. So you might be watching this and you're like, man, I can't gain weight. So this, honestly, we're going to kind of go into that too, because a personal trainer and, you know, tracking your calories and stuff like that is definitely what you need to be doing too if you want to gain weight.
Most definitely.
Because I don't know, I'll just tell you one thing that I really liked about tracking my calories was that before, when I try to like lose weight or get fit, I would just think, I just got to starve myself. I just got to eat less. Yeah. But then what would happen is I do that for 2 or 3 days, and then you get so starved and you just have a day where you're stressed out, maybe you didn't get sleep, and you're like, I don't care anymore.
It's like
I don't
a crash
care.
diet.
You crash diet.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen all the time. So what happens is the calorie tracker,
too,
bro,
man.
it's torture.
Yeah.
You're not enjoying it. So it's not fun. So right there, it's going to be hard to be consistent because you're not even enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the calorie tracking, it's like, there's no guesswork. It's like, because before I'd be like, I probably ate enough today. I probably shouldn't eat anymore. And then I'm going to bed and my stomach's growling. And then the next day I get up and I probably eat like way more, you know, instead of like balancing it out. So when you are tracking your calories, it tells you exactly what you've had. Mm-hmm. So you know, like it, man. And once you get to a certain point, like, you can literally, like, it's almost like scientific.
Yeah, it's literally a calculated approach.
It's a calculated approach because you can't get bigger if you stop putting stuff into something, right? Yep. So yeah, I think, that's what we're going to go into. So this week we're going to have some videos. You know, I'm going to do a screenshot recording of using the FitnessPal and Under Armour app. And I mean, some of you, it might sound kind of silly, but dude, it was like 3 months where I put off using it just because I was like, just something new to learn, right?
Right.
But then once I got it figured out, I literally only spent like maybe 3 minutes a day on it, and I tracked everything I ate, everything.
Yeah, I'm just laughing. There's an app for that.
Yeah,
you know,
right? I know. Because the thing that's cool about it is once you've typed something in, it'll auto-populate or it'll save it for you.
Okay.
So after like a few weeks, you've probably eaten most of the stuff that you eat on a regular basis. So it's going to be all kind of stored up for you. You can save meals. So if you eat the same breakfast every morning, you can just add that in. The personal trainer that we're going to be working with, Deshaun. Yeah. So I'm going to ask him about this because people will be like, man, I burned 4,000 calories today. You know, they'll have their calorie burner app on their bike or something like, I don't think you burned 4,000 calories. I mean, maybe, but those calories. Don't get me started
on that one, bro.
I want to understand those because someone told me that, and
Sean
I was like,
will help us be able to debunk some of that as far as at least understanding.
Yeah. Because
I just never even messed with it. Yeah. You know, but if that's what you do, cool. But I don't understand how it works. Maybe you might know more about that.
Well, I was just like looking into how many like calories it takes to burn on one of those row machines. You know what I mean? Because they say that's one of the I think the biggest like if you want to burn calories, that and jump roping, I think for cardio are the best you can do.
Jump rope's more than running. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I do both, but yeah. Definitely feel it more when you jump rope.
And so I was just looking at like, if you're going at this speed for this long, this is how many calories you burn. And then I was comparing that to like what other people have said. So I guess I just put that as a disclaimer because some people would be like, yeah, I burned 6,000 calories on my bike ride today.
Yeah, and I mean, really? I don't even understand how that works.
I don't even understand how that works because
let us know.
I mean, that's how many calories I eat in 2 days.
Right. Yeah, it's just
or 3 days sometimes.
Like, unless you're ultra marathon running.
Yeah, and these aren't.
Chance you're not doing that. But
no, and these are just normal dudes. These aren't like these aren't Ironman competitions. You know what I mean?
I get it. Just regular people.
So I'm kind of curious about that. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to learn a lot here too, and it's going to be funny because like.
I know I am.
You know, when we do start working the personal trainer, he's going to look at what we're doing. He's probably going to have some things to say, and then we can improve.
Of course.
So.
Yep. There's always room for improvement in anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, so that's pretty much it, y'all. And,
Yeah. It's kind of an introductory episode, and we got more to come.
Indeed, man.
Yeah. So this whole month's just going to be what we are doing currently. So we're not going to try to step it up or do anything different than what we're doing now. And then next month when we
first is on.
The first we go into boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to push myself, bro. Like, I'm just kind of one of those individuals that where if I have like a goal and I have a reason and something to do, and man, I'm pumped. Like, I just want to push it.
You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard, bro. Yeah. This has been dope, man.
No doubt.
I'm pretty hyped about this.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I wasn't that hyped at first because I was just like, I just do what I do. But I'm like, you know what? If I can help somebody else or someone can get some sort of benefit from what I know, then why wouldn't I share that? Not that I'm like this.
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
Cool.
No doubt. So yeah, it's been dope. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. More to come.
All right.
Peace.
Mask on riding through my city. It's like there's some extra room. There's a cloud above the city. It feels like impending doom, but I'm still born.